Hey guys, I am Usman.
And I'm Tiffany.
And we are in Bhutan!
For a country that prioritizes happiness over money, we came to investigate.
Is Bhutan really happy?
So, let's find out. Let's explore this beautiful country together. Eat a lot, explore some culture, adventure, and we'll figure out, is Bhutan really happy? But here's the catch. We're not going to share the notes throughout this time. You'll find out, just as we find out from each other, what we think of this country. Let's start.
Welcome to Bhutan! I'm sure you know the most famous fact about Bhutan. It's the only carbon negative country in the entire world. We spent 8 days here, and these are the top 10 things that we think you should experience to understand the soul of this beautiful kingdom. Let's start with my favorite find. I'm talking about the mystical Gangtey Valley. Waking up in our farmhouse homestay, we were greeted by a sea of fog floating over the Gangtey Valley. This valley is a unique oasis even within the lush Bhutanese kingdom for its beauty. And it is also the winter home to the rare black-necked cranes that migrate from Tibet. To take it all in, we went for a small hike through the Gangtey Valley. Doesn't this remind you of Switzerland? Something weird happened though. During our hike through the valley and its ancient woods, we met a local shepherd, and through our guide, he shared stories of the past with us. He told us that this is a sacred site for Buddhist meditation retreats since the 8th century, and when we left to complete our hike, I looked back after a while and he was no longer there. It was a nice little hike, and finally we arrived at the Gangtey Monastery. It's perched majestically on a hilltop. We caught glimpses of young monks during their daily studies, a tradition that's remained unchanged for centuries. And while Gangtey Valley was all about zen and peace, Punakha offered a much more adventurous take on Bhutan. Number 9 on our list is an adventure-filled day in Punakha. Our day started with a hike through the emerald rice paddies to reach the stupa. The name is below. It is a little bit complicated to pronounce. I don't want to mess up the pronunciation. When we climbed all the way to the top, the view was absolutely magical with the view of rice paddies and the river. Did you know these terraced fields were engineered over 1,000 years ago and they still use the same irrigation systems today? Bhutan is steeped in tradition. It's a lot more than hiking though. Next we went whitewater rafting on the mother river, Dochu. Okay, row your boat, paddling round the river.
The rafting was an insane experience, one I didn't expect from Bhutan. It isn't very risky because the river is not very deep, but it is fast flowing and we had an amazing time. So these waters are considered sacred in Bhutanese culture, by the way, and they're believed to bring prosperity to the valley. We ended with a refreshing swim in the river, and the water, though cold,
was really calming at the same time. And to top it all very nicely, we ended with a really beautiful riverside lunch, which felt like manna with delicious home-cooked food by Lala. Which swiftly brings me to our next number 8 on the list, cooking with Lala. In Bhutan, food isn't just sustenance, it's a celebration of community and nature. We joined Lala, our host in Punakha, in her kitchen garden where she sources all her ingredients from. Lala is a magician who made all these dishes within the span of an hour and a half with a bit of help from me, and we both loved the process from picking the veggies from her kitchen garden to the final touches and devouring it all wholeheartedly. I bet you didn't know that Bhutanese cuisine uses red rice, which only grows at these high altitudes and is packed with essential minerals. I loved gorging on these specially. I must introduce you to the star of Bhutanese cuisine, Ezay. It's a chili paste that becomes the soul of every single meal. Unlike other chili preparations, Ezay is fermented, giving it a little unique umami flavor that's addictively good, and I just ate copious amounts of it with every meal and absolutely loved it. The chili isn't very hot, which makes it even better. Every meal with Lala was like manna from heaven. She's not only an amazing cook, but an incredible person with a hint of dark humor. We both fell in love with her. That's the magic of Bhutan. Its people are incredibly amazing, hospitable, and really warm. And to get to Lala, we had to go through number 7 on our list, Dochu Pass. Bhutan is made of mountains, and at 10,000 feet, Dochu Pass offers more than just views. The 108 chortens here were built in 2004 to honor the Bhutanese soldiers, and through the fog, we explored meditation caves where monks have sought enlightenment for centuries and even meditated a little bit here. But my favorite was the rhododendron-covered monastery. With the flying mist and fog, it looked even more beautiful, with golden and red of monastery mixing with the green and pink of flowers. In spring, the entire pass transforms into a canvas of pink and red rhododendrons. It's Bhutan's national flower. These flowers have been used in traditional medicine for over 1,000 years. We went for a little walk around, which was amazing because the forest floor was covered in them. Where else in the world would you find such beautifully laid red carpet for you? Before I take you to number 6, I believe you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel just yet. Fix that mistake right now and click on that subscribe button. Bhutan isn't all villages and farms though, and I bring you to our next experience on the list, the capital of Bhutan, Thimphu, where tradition meets modernity. Every building here incorporates a local Bhutanese touch no matter how modern it is, and it makes the place look incredible. Thimphu is the world's only capital that has no traffic lights, and it perfectly balances progress with preservations. And to experience that, we went to the Simply Bhutan Museum. From archery to dancing and eating, it was anything but a normal museum visit. I usually hate museums, but this one became my absolute favorite. To understand the day-to-day life, we also went to the fresh produce market. It was quite unique because there were a lot of dried meat sections which I've never seen before, but we got some mangoes as well as some chili for Ezay. Since Thimphu is the capital, well, there has to be something that's really impressive, and for that we went to the massive Buddha statue, which contains 125,000 smaller Buddha statues inside, each one made of bronze and gold. At sunset, this place was pure magic and we were there for it. Moving swiftly on to number 5. Next on our list is Paro and its cultural treasures. While Thimphu is the capital, Paro is actually more famous because of the location of the only airport of Bhutan, and people wrongly assume it to be the capital of Bhutan even. To understand Paro and its cultural heritage better, we started with the most impressive building, the Paro Fort. This building is an engineering marvel because its walls slope inward to withstand the forces of earthquake, which was developed in 17th century. Quite an amazing feat. The interior is covered with vibrant and really colorful murals, which to our surprise have lasted for centuries even though they are made with natural pigments. But why only look at the culture and architecture? Why not be part of it? So we went to try Go, which is the traditional dress of Bhutan, and everyone wears it. Paro is also the place for souvenir shopping, and I loved buying all the incense I could get my hands on. I still burn it and it reminds me of Bhutan. I think I looked pretty regal in it. I even overheard some people saying I should be the next king, but I didn't pay much attention to this. Now, it's impossible to talk about Paro and not its world-famous monastery called the Tiger's Nest, which is number 4 on our list. And by the way, it is actually one of the 13 Tiger Nest monasteries, not the only one. The iconic Tiger's Nest clings to a cliff 3,000 feet above the valley floor, and it almost looks like a miracle when you first set your eyes on it. It is world famous for a reason. Since we are coming from Nepal after a lot of trekking, this did not feel like a huge challenge, except for the stairs at the end, which were a killer. If you're not in good shape, just make sure to take plenty of breaks. Halfway through, there is a restaurant, and remember the mangoes that we got from the fresh produce market? That's where we enjoyed them. It is an absolutely incredible adventure that you cannot miss when you go to Bhutan. But to make it even better, we went for a hot stone bath, a really unique thing that you only experience in Bhutan. This traditional therapy includes taking the river stones, which are heated in a fire and then added to the water, which is infused with artemisia leaves. A centuries-old therapy that is truly unique to Bhutan. And honestly, I felt so relaxed and slept so well that night. I miss that feeling. By now, you will have some idea how I like to travel. I love to go deeper. And Bhutan has plenty to offer that's still undiscovered. And if you want to experience Bhutan like I did, and even more, reach out to me. I run a small travel company that focuses on these authentic travel experiences. The link to the website is on your screen. Speaking of authentic, I'm taking you to the next experience on our list. Number 3 is homestays. Living with local families gave us insights no hotel could offer. Every home maintains a traditional altar room, and we learned that the Bhutanese architecture must follow ancient Buddhist principles of harmony with nature. We chose farm stays and homestays instead of hotels, and whether it was our stay at Lala's with her cats and dogs, doing the yoga in the morning with the view of Punakha Ford, or the farm stay in Gangtey, or the farm I stayed in Paro, every single one of these places made us realize how special Bhutanese life is. And after thinking a lot about it, I found the secret ingredient: simplicity. And if you're thinking that means underdevelopment, you're wrong. Bhutan is actually pretty well developed materially as well. We've had high-speed internet connection even in these farmhouses and homestays, and the hosts were well trained to deal with international guests, which was really refreshing. But wait, I didn't even tell you about how we got to Bhutan. Well, this is through the most dramatic and incredible flight in the world. I'm taking you to number 2 on our list, the world's most dramatic flight.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is from the flight sector first officer speaking. I'd like to welcome you on board today's flight.
Now, I have traveled to more than 100 countries, and now very few flights seem worth looking out of the window for, but this one absolutely blew my mind. Flying into the Paro airport is an experience in itself, especially when you're taking the flight from Kathmandu. Only about 15 pilots in the entire world are qualified to land here, navigating between mountains with just visual flight rules. When we left from Kathmandu, it gave us the front row seats to the views of Mount Everest and the Himalayas, the tallest mountains in the world, right under your feet. And it truly made me realize how minuscule we are and yet how big our impact is. It felt extra special because just last week we were standing in front of Mount Everest, and now we were looking at it from the plane. If you want to find out more about that, check out my Nepal video, the link is above. Well, that leaves us with number 1 only. But what is the most important experience in Bhutan then? Number 1 on the list is exploring the sacred architecture in Bhutan, from its forts to monasteries and stupas.
So this is typical Bhutanese style, and it's not just reserved for forts, temples, monasteries, and stupas. It is also, every single house we've stayed at, every single shop we've entered, everything we've passed by, they incorporate some element of this beautiful architecture. It's brightly painted, really beautifully done.
Bhutan's forts and monasteries are a lot more than buildings. They're living museums of Bhutanese culture and history. Every building is different despite following the same style, and best of all, they offer a feeling of calm and zen. I really hated that we weren't allowed to take any photos or videos inside, but I soon realized I took in all the zen of these buildings rather than focusing on my camera. Before coming to Bhutan, I was a little bit wary of being overloaded with all the religion and iconography, but after visiting a few of these beautiful monasteries, I absolutely fell in love with the architecture, the art, the murals inside. These are my top 10 experiences that actually make you understand the soul of Bhutan. But before the big reveal, I have another little fun fact for you. In Bhutan, democracy was actually introduced against the popular will of people in 2008 by the beloved fourth king, making Bhutan possibly the only country in the world where democracy was imposed by a monarch rather than demanded by its people.
All right, we are here and it's up time to reveal, is Bhutan happy? 1, 2, 3, go. Yes! But there are a few buts. So why don't you start with your butt?
Sure. Okay, so there are a lot of rules, especially around taking photographs inside of monasteries and forts as well.
It seemed a little bit excessive, to be honest. Like when we went to Tiger's Nest, they were like, no photos at all, even from outside. You have to like leave your phone outside, and it seemed a little bit excessive. But I realized, quite early on that Bhutan is not about like grand things and like world's biggest this or world's tallest this. It's about small things, peace, serenity, calm, lots of meditation, beautiful walks through gorgeous woodlands, monasteries where you can just sit, and see the monks chanting. It is really nice. So yeah, would I come back? Absolutely yes, and probably for longer, to enjoy this place even more. And I think the thing that I really loved here are the people. What do you think?
Yeah, hospitality is really, really good. The food is fantastic. Probably some of the best food I've had in a really long time. So yeah.
Yeah, and I honestly, I'm a very independent traveler. I don't like tours. I don't like, being driven around, like people opening doors for me. She loves it.
I love it.
But I don't really like it much. But even I got like swept away with. But I think, beyond us telling you all of this, there's one way you can actually find it truly for yourself. And that's by visiting this beautiful country. Come visit, enjoy this amazing country. And we are off to the airport, which you can see right behind us. And I will see you in another beautiful destination. Let's see where that takes us. Until then, it's a bye.